Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another live stream. We got more live streams coming. Of course, this Saturday is the last day you could back Street Humans, and I'll be streaming this Saturday. I'll probably stream Friday through Saturday. But yeah, Saturday, November 4th, Street Humans ends, and I wanted to bring a special guest on to a live stream, and I wanted to bring somebody that had some serious star power. And who else could I think of rather than the infamous, the glorious Dan Larson from Secret Galaxy? How you doing, Dan Larson?
Excellent. Thank you very much for having me on. The infamous Dan Larson.
The infamous. You're infamous. Infamous. Isn't infamous like grander than famous?
I don't know. I'm just going from Three Amigos and their whole line about infamous. That's better than famous, right?
Infamous. Oh God, I love it. Was that a Martin Short line? It sounds like something.
I don't remember who actually delivered it. I'm trying to think now. Infamous is probably Chevy Chase. I don't remember.
Or Chevy Chase. Yeah. Oh man. But anyway, how are you doing, man? Thanks so much for coming through. And I'm sad to not see you in full Voltron form. But
yeah, I went for Reed Richards on his day off. Just kill it.
Wow, you do look like Reed Richards, man. You definitely have that look. I mean, just
that's that Marvel Legends figure. They stole my face.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And Titanium Man too. I think you're a Titanium.
You know
Man,
what?
right?
I just got a generic look. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. That's happened to me a couple of times.
A lot of those guys are tired of hearing about action figures that they sculpted that kind of look like me. I'm like, it's not me. Don't worry about it. I'm just a white guy with a beard.
Yeah, a bunch of white dudes with beards.
That's it.
In action figure form.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much for being so supportive.
Definitely. Yeah.
With the Street Humans line, like you've really shown like such a strong interest and from the beginning, and you've just been really supportive. And you've probably heard the animated short more than anybody aside from me.
Yeah. Yeah, so being booth mates at PowerCon, I heard that looped a few times over the 3-day weekend. Yeah. All right. It's been 10 minutes. I gotta go.
Yeah. Just over and over again. And I'm just very grateful for that. You backed the project on day one. Yeah. And thank you so much. And but I wanted to talk Street Humans with you a little bit, but I also wanted to talk to you about some of the things that you've been up to, and I wanted to tell you congratulations for getting on the Hasbro Pulse stream and being one of the co-hosts, and to Theo Adams too, because he's an awesome content creator as well. And I think you guys did a fantastic job. This was Theo's second time doing this. This was your first time.
Well, a different thing for him because he did pre-show last time, which was just sort of him and I think he talked to like maybe 2 people in the pre-show and then just kind of handed it off to everybody else. And that was sort of like a different kind of thing, where it was just kind of like a little talk show before the thing started. And then just handed it off to the rest. So this was a different thing. And, honestly, that's sort of how it was going to be again this year. We had like the little pre-show conversations with Hasbro, and they were going to basically do the same thing. Theo was going to be the pre-show host, and then they were going to bring me in and do the thing. But once we got into it, it was like, why don't we just forget this pre-show thing? Let's just have, Dan and Theo do the co-hosting. They can banter off each other. We can have some fun. And so neither one of us is out there by ourselves.
Gotcha. Okay. So that was like a lot more improv involved than what you're anticipating.
They allowed us some room if we wanted to kind of riff, but there was still like time that it was like, we need to keep the show moving. Like we want to keep it to a certain amount of time. Needed to end at a certain time so that pre-orders and stuff can go up. So there was basically a script ahead of time, and they gave us each the script and said, here's what needs to be said in this block of space. Rewrite it however you want to rewrite it to make it more comfortable for you to say. And if you want to throw in some jokey jokes and stuff in there, feel free,
Gotcha. Okay. As long as you fit within that window of time. So
yeah. Don't drop any F-bombs,
Yeah, and don't drop any F-bombs. Right, right. I mean, like, how strict were they with, like, what they I mean, that's an obvious one. You're talking about a big company like that. They're, you know,
Well, and I think for
but
both Hugh and I, we both knew that, there were things that we needed to deliver the message, right? Like we knew that there's a certain level of like joke or whatever you can throw in there, but you're not gonna, you don't want to press. That's not the time to try to press with like, let's see how far we can push, this Pulse Con, script. That's not the time to play those games.
yeah,
Uh,
right,
you
right,
know,
right. Let's see
so
how edgy we can make this.
but if either or both of us are back ever again, I think we'll push a little further and see how much more we can do, because once you're sort of given the sign off like no, we approve, what you're doing is good, we like it, then you're like, all right, I'm gonna actually push this and see where I can go with it.
Right. Then, yeah, from then on now, yeah, let's find out
Yeah.
where the new
Yeah,
boundaries
like
are.
I wanted to throw in a bunch of like if you're a viewer of our channel, I wanted to throw in a bunch of things that like viewers would recognize, like
Mhm.
a wolf, or multiverse, whatever. I wanted to throw in things people would get, but at the same time I was like, nah, this is a business. They've got a certain job to do. I don't want to get in the way of Emily and Lenny and Ryan and BNAC and all those other guys who have a job to do. This is their thing. This is not my thing. That's their thing. And I don't want to put the attention on myself. The attention is supposed to be on them and what they're trying to do. So if I go back next year, I'm going to have at it.
Nice, nice. And how long have you been YouTubing for? I mean, you've been doing this for quite some time now, and it's kind of, I mean, you got to look at it as a milestone in your YouTube career. And oh wait, really quick, by the way, shout out to Ted Darklaw and Black Knight. If you guys are outside the US, Mexico, or Canada, and you want to pre-order Street Humans, you could do so at Hella Dope Toys. Make sure you guys check out Hella Dope Toys if you're outside North America. And just checking on the chat again, do you guys think we need a new Superior Spider-Man action figure? I mean, I could say yes to that. I mean, especially anything with the Pizza Spidey body mold.
Yeah,
I would like to kind of see redone with an updated
I sold mine not that long ago because I assumed they're probably going to be coming out with a new one soonish.
Gotcha. Now, was there anything? So again, how long have you been? How long has your channel been around for? I mean, I have a fairly decent idea, but it's been quite some time now at this point, right?
I think our first video, I want to say, was uploaded. It's April. I want to say it's like 15th, but that's tax day, so I don't know if it was actually the 15th. It was like April 5th or something, 2015. So
Okay.
this was our 8-year anniversary. We're coming up on our 9-year anniversary. So it's been a bit, not quite as long as you and Pixel Dan and a couple others, but been around for a bit now.
I think Pixel Dan's had the longest.
Oh, was he before you?
I believe so. I'm fairly certain he was reviewing figures. I know he had like the forums and stuff. Like he was in that whole thing, like reviewing toys that way, and then he went on to making videos. But I'm fairly certain that he started posting videos. Mandalorian 30.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Mandalorian 30 was posting videos before me.
I think Robo predates me too.
Oh, probably, maybe. You guys are around the same. Yeah, around that era. But that one's a lot closer. So
yeah,
you guys are. I kind of see you guys as like the G2.
I agree. Same thing.
Right?
Yeah,
like you guys are part of that second generation. But it's been 8 years. Since then. So did you get pretty excited to hear from Hasbro to have this opportunity? Because I think it's a fairly big deal, man. I mean,
it is, and it was a real. I don't know if you know the rest of my story. I grew up in my dad was military, so we lived all over, and I spent quite a bit. I was fortunate enough that even though we moved around a lot, I lived in Rhode Island twice, from 83 to 86, and then we left and came back in 89, and then from 89 to like whenever I graduated from college, 98. We stayed in Rhode Island. So I had a cumulative like 10, 12 years that I was in Rhode Island, living in Rhode Island. And as you know, Hasbro's their headquarters is in Rhode Island, in Pawtucket. And so the college I went to is literally like 4 exits down the highway from Hasbro's headquarters.
Oh, so, no.
Yeah. Way. So at the time, and we're talking 94, 95, 96, 97-ish, right in there. My freshman year was 94, 95. That's when Hasbro Power of the Force 2 launched. So Star Wars was back after a 10-year hiatus. It was huge. Everybody's like going crazy over it again.
Oh yeah.
So my friends and I, we used to go to Hasbro had a publicly open to the public company store that you could go shop at. And so,
Whoa.
yeah, so all those original Power of the Force 2 figures I was buying from Hasbro directly at their company store. And at the time, starting lineup was big. You know, I think they had what else they had that was really big? They had something else going on at the same time, but it was basically between the Star Wars collectors and the starting lineup collectors. Hasbro was like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. We're gonna close this to the public. Get out of here, you collectors. You're ruining it for everybody.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, did they always have everything? Because I remember
no, it wasn't even that good.
Oh, it wasn't that good?
No, because like it is, and that's part of the problem, right? Like, as all of us, everybody's so anxious to get these new figures. Like Boba Fett was in like wave 2 or 3 or whatever it was, and I was like, oh my god, if I got to get this Boba Fett. And so, you know, we're trying to go to the store every single day, and they're just like, guys, this isn't what this is about. Like, you know, and they didn't always have everything in stock, and it wasn't like, you know, 30 deep on the pegs or anything. It was just like, if we have it, we have it. If we don't, we don't. You know, go to KB Toys or whatever. So it on one hand, it was really cool. On the other hand, it was no different than any other store or how Pulse seems to operate today.
Yeah. It's a little bit crazy, right? I think
so doing Pulse Con, being back in that area after all this time, after years and years and years and years, and you know, developing the channel and sort of having a presence in this collecting community, it was a little bit of like a homecoming for me to be back in that neighborhood, you know, back on that property, back, you know, in that area at Hasbro as like a, hey, I'm here now and they know who I am. You know, they asked me to be here and I'm not just some guy shopping at the store trying to find Boba Fett, you know, like I'm here for a thing. And it was really neat, but it was also intimidating at the same time. It was, you know, because it's Hasbro.
Right.
It's Hasbro.
I would love to visit there sometime. I would imagine it's like walking, and I'm pretty sure you haven't had this experience, but I'm imagining it kind of being like walking through YouTube headquarters. Because YouTube headquarters is just down it's 20 minutes away. My father-in-law lives literally down the street, on the same street, on Cherry, like on the same street. So like whenever you see that address, Cherry Avenue, I'm like,
yeah.
That's my father-in-law lives. So it's kind of a weird, surreal experience walking.
So I was a little, I have to be honest, I was a little disappointed with the like tour that we got because it's always, it's very, very secretive. There's so much super private, IP stuff going on there that they're not going to show anybody that stuff. So if you go back and watch, I think it's last year's 1027 thing, like we just had 1027 on Friday, but last year's 1027, Steve and Emily do this whole like tour of the of the building. You see just as much in that video as I saw on the tour, basically.
Okay, so they gave you the all right.
That's the public tour, you know. They
it's
can't
like
really show you anything else.
It's kind of like a weird, like it's more of like a big showroom.
Yeah, it's like, right? Here's the area, here's the sort of area where everybody can kind of congregate out, you know, sort of in between their projects that they're working on. And here's the little company store area. And, you know, here's a back hallway and that's it.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So yeah, they're not going to let you see the goods, right?
No.
Like, here's the lineup for the 2024 Marvel Legends.
Here's all the sketches. Here's all the bits. Here's all the paint masters. None of that stuff.
Yeah. All right. Hey, well, that's cool though. That's still amazing that you had that experience.
Absolutely.
I think you both did a killer job. Especially with, I mean, I was like, damn, he's reading the teleprompter. Like right? They have a teleprompter there, no?
Oh, hell yeah. No. Well, so they asked us on that. They said, do you want to just have notes? Do you want to riff? Do you think you'll be able to commit it to memory? And like Thu and I were both, teleprompter, please. Like, especially because, you know, I didn't know at first. Like, I know last year was taped, but this was live. We were live. And I was like, there's no way I'm going out there without the security of a teleprompter.
Yeah. No, very well done. That's got to be tricky, kind of.
It is, yeah. We had some rehearsal time, and that was good. But Thu and I were both so used to working off a teleprompter, and having had the opportunity to put the script in our own voice helped a lot with that. Nice.
Now, did you have anything? Was there anything that? Sorry, I got to close this email thing. But like what? Well, you know, what kind of like? Was there anything that like they're announcing that you're kind of like geeking out off of exceptionally hard that
I
I mean,
tried to steal that Crystar.
oh, the Crystar, yeah, the
I tried to
Crystar,
steal
that's
it.
right. But they ended up sending you one, no, or did they
Not
not?
yet, not yet. No, I don't have
Oh, not
anything
yet.
yet. No,
But they
no.
promised
Like,
one though, right? They should promise you one. I think you should
yeah,
get
I
one.
mean, yeah, you know, they still do what they can, but I have it pre-ordered at Big Bad. I have it pre-ordered at Big Bad, Amazon, and I think Entertainment Earth. 'Cause I
Okay,
don't,
so
you know, whoever ships first, I want to make sure I get it.
right on. So okay, so yeah, you definitely have one of those coming. Right on. Sweet. And yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about Street Humans with you, just some,
Sure,
and
yeah.
it's kind of like an interesting thing because usually people are asking me questions, and I know you don't really host live streams like this, but I'll ask you a question, and then maybe if you have any questions
Sure,
about the
yeah,
line, you could shoot one back
absolutely.
my way. We could rally back and forth, but
Yeah.
that I'm just curious to know what stood out from the line that like kind of intrigued you the most about it. Like,
So I know that the core concept, or at least what I perceived as the core concept, I know has been kind of a polarizing thing. The idea of sort of like background army builder characters, right? Like,
Mhm.
I think that's a neat idea, and I think maybe I think it's a neat idea because I am so immersed in the action figure photography, you know, community, and I know that there have been so many times where I've needed like a guy in a suit, a bad guy, you know, just a casual civilian type of character. Like, I get it. I understand the need for that. And so, you know, it seems like a natural, like, oh yeah, of course people are going to be excited about, you know, this sort of generic. I don't mean that as a bad term. I mean that as
No.
what it means, you know, a more generic sort of character. And the idea of having them with customizable, swappable options, fantastic idea. And then when you add the alien or mutant aspect to it, I think that gives it more of that specific original intellectual property appeal to it, you know. And I think the head designs that you've shown off are just fantastic. So I'll throw a question back to you. I don't know specifically. So who designed the actual mutant heads, this bat head, this lion head, those kinds of characters? Is that you explaining what you want to see to a designer, to a sculptor? What was the process there?
Yeah, so it was a three-part process. It was basically my bad drawings and me handing them off. I should show them I mean they look really really bad, but like they helped inspire Vinny, our designer, to make way better drawings out of them. And then it was those images that we sent to our sculptor Brandon, and then Brandon sculpted the heads based off of that. So I should bring that out from the garage though, because I've been meaning to show off some of the actual drawings that I've done.
I think you should,
Um,
yeah.
all right, I'm gonna go get it really quick. You
Yeah.
tell them a story. I have
Yeah,
to go get
do
it
that
in the
right now.
garage. I'll have to leave you
Don't do
alone on my
that.
live
No.
stream for a
That's all good. Don't you have to do that
all
right
right,
now.
you can hold the
That
fort?
gives
All
you
right. Don't take anything from my dork room, Dan. Don't touch my
all right,
phone.
everybody. It's we'll just go to chat at this point, I guess, since there's Shartimus just walked away here. Anybody got questions about stuff for me here? What do we got here? I saw a couple names I recognize in the chat. I saw Stephen Turner living in North Kingstown. That's good. Lincoln, look at all these Rhode Island folks. This is great. Anybody else shop there? Did somebody else shop there? Oh, there we go. I remember that company. I can't click on and highlight your comments, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Stephen Turner, I remember.
all right, I'm back. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad. Who's bump up a fellow backers based on the drawings? Bump this up a few backers. Oh, okay. So yeah. Let's see if we got any new backers during the stream too, because if we get new backers, they will be summoning the power of the Infinity Gauntlet. So I've been doing this little gimmick over here where we get new backers, we hit the Soul Stone over there, and yeah, High School Creations is 3 hours later. But yeah, I mean, so I just turned to this page. I mean, you can see how bad it is. This is like a head. This is a drawing of King Alago right there.
That's
like,
great. That's great.
oh,
That's not
that's
bad. That's
terrible.
great.
Thank you.
No. Come on, man.
Then
You've
you can
seen
see
concept art for much bigger budget things than that look worse than that.
right. And then I had a window box idea that I've drawn here. This is some of the some of like the storyboard kind of things that I had going on for the animated short that you recognize.
Yeah.
You may recognize. But the actual concepts, and then here's the female figure. Here's me starting out with the female figures with the different hairstyles. But yeah, this is kind of an attempt at the alien body, like
Oh,
how they would look as
yeah.
that's kind of like my original concept for the alien body. This is some drawings from Eros, the walrus looking alien head. So I want to make sure that those tusks can move up and down, so that when you're rotating them around, you get some articulation in there, so that they're not just. So he won't be able to turn his head side to side without breaking a tusk.
Right.
So if they could flip up as he turns his head, I want to make sure that people could utilize that. But yeah, I mean, if things get to that point, having them having transformable alien mode figures that could turn into a meteor, I thought that would be really cool to do. So there's a whole lot of ideas. I have a ton of notes here from the factory, and a bunch of other stuff.
So are these drawings that you did recently, or are these older drawings?
It's a collection. So yeah, they're mostly older. Yeah, like I haven't dated all of them, but like I think this is from.
But you're still when you say older, you still just mean like last couple years.
Yeah. Okay. 2021.
Okay, right. This isn't stuff that you were drawing when you were like 14.
No. Yeah, this all started, like the drawings for Street Humans started in May of 2020. Okay, this one actually, like this is the first storyboards. Or here, I'm gonna full screen myself here.
Yep.
I
don't currently have plans to go to Rhode Island Comic Con. No.
Oh wait. Do I know how to do this stuff? All right, we can still hear Dan, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm starting on this side, but you can see the head popping thing. Oh yeah, there's the planet thing going to Earth. You can see the cityscape of the meteor coming down.
Yep.
And then you can see the city street where it lands, and the hot meteor right over there. And then he comes out of the thing, and head pops to human. I mean, there's a lot missing from here that was properly used in the animated short. Beowulf, Bruce Vernon did a fantastic job. So these are all my bad drawings of the.
No. See, I mean, the whole point of that, it's rough schematics and animatics and all this stuff. Like all you have to do is communicate the action that's going on. The scale of the characters, the rough orientation within the frame, and what the general movement is. It doesn't have to be like super highly detailed or anything. And you've communicated it all there, obviously, because a lot of that ended up in the final animation.
Yeah, it did it. Oh, this is the first time, 2012. This is the Jubilee this is the first time I was like, I want to try to draw an action figure. So I drew a Jubilee figure back in 2012, way before, and it's like, this is like the first time I actually like seriously kind of.
Yeah, I started thinking about it in a 3-dimensional way, and how would these parts look, and how would they fit together, and what would you need to do?
Yeah, really trying to conceptualize something. And then I guess I started. Where's here? Oh, so I started drawing one guy, and then, but yeah, this is like the first. This is like in May 7th, 2020. And this is like I had the whole concept pretty much down to like what it, more or less what it is today. It's just doesn't have any of the details in it. So you can see the interchangeable hands and arms and the accessories.
I love this stuff. I love this stuff. Like I love all the behind the scenes. I love watching, the formation of the sort of kernel of the ideas and the evolution through the process. And when the final piece comes out on the other end, I don't know if you're familiar with Jesse DeStasio of Toy Pizza. He does his Toy Pizza, his Knights of the Slice action figures. He's been doing those for years. They're like a 4-inch scale, 5 POA, lots of interchangeable parts and whatever. The point is, basically all of the characters that he pulls into this line are almost all based on characters that he created when he was like 12, 13, 14 years old. And so he'll frequently show the original drawings that he had done of those characters from years and years ago. and then how he's, you know, updated them now, and then now how they appear in the actual action figure line. So I love seeing
Nice.
I don't care
Oh,
how
man.
rudimentary it is. Like, look,
Yeah.
if somebody is creating something, if you are trying to put your ideas out there, like you communicated the information, and that's what important. And you know where your shortcomings are to be able to say, I need someone who can actually sculpt this thing because I can't do it.
Right. Yeah, like, please help. Please.
Yeah.
I think this was the alien heads. Before I had names for them, you know, I used white man, black man, Latin man, Asian
Okay.
man
Okay. Yeah.
for them. You know, this is before I had the names. They actually went through a few different names at first, but you could see that Alago bat head right there originally had 4 eyes. Later on, we got 6 eyes on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, you can
But
see
it's all
the
there. It's all there. Yeah. Yeah.
this was just a shortly afterwards, and you know, there's other alien head designs that I'd done, like these weird koala looking, and then panther alien heads, and I don't know. So I was just recently drawing some new ones too. These are some
Oh,
new ones that I actually did.
somebody in chat just said time for the gauntlet.
Oh, we got it. Oh, we got a new backer. Awesome. But yeah, you can see some of the other heads. Like I'll draw like the animal. I recently did this one, like the wolf one right there. We have a eagle looking one, this ant one right here. So I really wanted them. It's just been and then here's me trying to draw Spawn. This is from a while ago. So like when I really try to draw, I can draw. Oh, this is like a rough sketch of a street human from way early on.
It's hard,
So,
man. It's hard. Drawing is hard. You know, I have beat myself over the head for years and years and years and years trying to get better. And it's like it's the whole like it's like riding a bike. You know, there's some aspects of it you never forget, and other parts that like if you don't practice, if you don't keep working at it, you forget how to do stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly it. And the more I've worked at it, I feel like I have some. Oh, this is. I just wanted to show this one off because I thought it came out really good. I used. I think I drew this in like 2008, so a long time ago. But I used the Toy Biz Black Widow figure, and I put her on a flight stand and posed her as Storm, and then drew Storm.
Nice.
That.
That's great. That's great.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Really hard time with the hair, but I'm really happy with the way the legs came out.
Yeah. Hair's a challenge.
Yeah, and the hands too, because like the figure doesn't really have pose.
No, Toy Biz are not good reference for hands.
Yeah, so I have some artistic capabilities. This is not copied from anything. I thought it'd be a fun drawing to like mess with the perspective turn around. The layout completely because I forget which way it was supposed to. Yeah, it's supposed to be this way.
Perfect.
But I wanted it to be confusing like that on purpose,
sure,
so that from over here it looks like one way. A little pervy with the Mary Jane and the tongue, but that's before my influence. Okay, and then last one
that's tame for drawings of Mary Jane on the internet.
Right. So yeah, exactly. That's tame. And for even then, I remember it was pretty edgy way back. Yeah. I remember Venom sneaking in there while Mary Jane was in her nightie and everything. I was like,
yeah. No, there's some implied things that happen there, and yeah, Todd McFarlane definitely did some more adult implied things with his work as well, for sure.
Oh, I do have a rough sketch of Street Ladies Paisano, but it's just very, very rough. It's just like me laying things out. But I did draw some Street Ladies, and I really hope we get to that point where I can make them. That would be awesome. I drew this in Shanghai. This is like, well, anyway, it may take too long for me to find it, but oh, geez. Oh, all right. Yeah, now I'm finding all kinds of. I got a cool live stream idea. It's called ShartimusPrime Reads a Book. What am I doing?
There's weirder things. It's not the weirdest.
Through the pages and everything. I had pictures of female figures in here somewhere, and I lost it, but they're not too far away. I was hoping I would just run into it real quick. But anyway, moving on. Oh, wait, here you go. Here's a female street human right there.
There you go, with the rhinoceros head.
Yeah, with the rhinoceros head and the female body. But we got it, here's like a rabbit one that I was thinking of. I thought it'd be cool to have that very sharp, angular look to the eyes of a rabbit, because their bunnies are so soft and cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Go
So I
contrast
thought
it.
it'd be cool to change that up some. But yeah, for me personally, people showing interest in the alien concepts really means a lot to me, because I really just didn't think that would be something that a lot of people would really like. Like you're mentioning the whole the whole army building aspect of it caught your attention. You had that same
I
desire.
got it. I understood it.
Yeah, you know what I was going for right
Yeah.
away. And I gotta hit the Infinity Gauntlet. God, I'm terrible, man. Jeez, Shartimus Prime reads a book and doesn't follow through with we got 2 more backers. Thank you.
Yeah.
513 and 514.
Bon Williams in chat say back 2 figs.
All right. Thank you so much. Right on, you guys. Really appreciate it. And thank you for the star power, Dan. Thank you.
Yeah, just bringing them in.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, that's got to be kind of a trippy thing, though. Like, as you're, at what point did you feel like the channel was really growing? And, and I remember you touching on this a bit at the panel from 2 years ago at PowerCon.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm not everybody, was there.
Yeah. I was hoping he was going to put that up online at some point, but he didn't.
Yeah. Did that ever go up online? Or
No.
Damn, that would have been a good one to see online.
Yeah, I get it. I get why shows do it. They want you to go see the panels in person. I totally understand.
Oh, okay. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's like exclusive content, basically.
Oh, okay. Hey, thank you so much, Curtis. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. So like at what point did you feel like the channel was like really getting to like a level where you could do it full time? Because you do it full time now, right? Like this.
Yeah, but not for long. I've only been full time for since 2023. I think 2 full years now, maybe 2.5 that I've been full time. So we started in 2015, and I was working a regular job for 6 years of that, 7 years of that before I actually was able to go full time on the channel. Greg was able to go full time a little bit earlier, but that's because he doesn't collect action figures, so he actually has money.
Wow. So is that how that was? So wait, so you guys are splitting the Google money, right? You're both working on it.
Everything's 50-50.
Money. Then one of you is being able to quit their day job, and the other one, like a freaking addict, can't let go
I spent too much money on toys.
Buy more toys. Yeah, I could stay at home all day, but I need more Boba Fett's. Like,
can't help it, man. Can't help it. All this stuff. Stupid.
I
put rules in place for my collection this year to try to start to focus my actual collecting and try to say, okay, look, if you're going to keep adding new stuff to your collection, old stuff's got to go, and you got to start putting some boundaries in, because even cool stuff is starting to get too expensive.
Right. That's like for me, a personal rule is I can't get any new hot toys without getting rid of other hot toys. So it's like a new hot toy comes in,
1 in, 1 out.
Yeah, it has to go 1 in, 1 out. That's what it's been, and it's kind of hard to do sometimes, but it's easier to do that when you tell yourself, like, well, now which one do you really want more, Green Goblin or Iron Patriot? And it's like, okay, Green Goblin.
Well, and you got to look into the future a little bit and say, there's going to be other figures you're going to want, and so how many of them you're going to have? 20, 50, 80? We're going to put all of them,
Yeah, it gets pretty crazy. So you had a period of time there where you could have probably gone full time with the YouTube channel, but I mean that's quite an achievement all on its own right there. So when did Greg go full time?
Oh, I don't remember exactly when he went full time. Obviously, everybody's got their own sort of personal budgets and stuff, and
right.
I don't know what he does for his savings account or anything like that. Right. And expenses, his rent, my rent, his mortgage, my mortgage, whatever, all those kinds of things. There's all those variables involved, but I think within the first, I want to say within the first 4 or 5 years, he was full time. So he was probably full time 2 or 3 years before me.
Okay.
So, there was definitely a time there, the first, 3 years, where we were both still working regular jobs, just like anybody else starting out, because, you were actually in before YouTube changed the way that they do their monetization, right? Because the early days, like you were vetted sort of as an individual, and then you got into the monetization program, and then it was more of an exclusive kind of thing. Now it's like, if you have 100 subscribers and 1,000 views, you're part of the program. And it was like, what?
it was a huge deal when I had gotten, I think what it was is that they allowed you to monetize a video. Like, it was like, oh, you have a video doing well, you can make money off of that video if you enroll in the partnership program for this particular video. So it was like video by video. And then, like, one day I remember it distinctly that my wife and I, Charlita one and I were dating, and we were at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, and I had just, obsessed on my phone as always, kind of, and just I'd gotten the email about like being a full partner, like they entering the channel itself into the partnership program for monetization on every video. And that blew my freaking mind. That was amazing. I couldn't believe that. And we celebrated and had a nice dinner and stuff, and there were no kids around or anything. Yeah, I love the kids, but it was a different time. It
was a different kind of happiness. Yes.
Different kind of happiness. And it makes me think of the before times, the ways it was before the kids, because you could just sporadically do stuff like, we just came out here to go to Golden Gate Park and planned on going home, but you know what? Like, we could go get dinner at this place over here instead of just going home, because like, there's no deadline to get home. Nobody has to be in bed by 7:30 or whatever. Like,
no lives to keep breathing and fed.
and all that, and all that good stuff. But by the way,
we had a sense, things really took off probably around like year. So we started 15. Honestly, it was a very slow, and then it, sort of picked up some steam. And then, just prior to the pandemic, and then through the pandemic, that's when things really blew up for us. It took us 4 years to get to 100,000 subscribers, I think it was. And then in 2021, we put up 100,000 subscribers just in that single calendar year, because obviously everybody's at home watching YouTube all the time. And
right.
It was just sort of that confluence of like the quality of our production, the fact that way more people were watching and subscribing to YouTube than previously, the way our demographic had sort of shifted from exclusively action figure collectors to a larger audience of, people who were just into television, movies, cartoons in general. And so how we'd sort of evolved the channel away from just action figure exclusive content, that we really started to say, oh, okay, you know what? Doing this full time might actually be a realistic thing for both of us.
Nice. And congratulations. It's not an easy thing to do. A lot of people take that for granted. Like, you see, there's, we're not the only ones. I know Pixel Dan still has his day job, but like Robo does it full time. There's several reviewers out there doing this stuff. Jobby the Hong.
But there's different paths to that, and nobody has the same story, of how they got there and how long it took and how much they're actually surviving and comfortable doing it, Yeah,
that's another big thing too, is that, it's a grind, like, depending on what, I mean, you kind of set the stage for how your workload is going to be, but it's pretty it could be pretty crazy depending on what kind of schedule you have for your channel. But your channel did really well during the pandemic. 2020 was pretty good for me, but after that, 2021, 2022, 2023, like, no, it's not. 2023 has actually been okay, but like, I think after, like, shortly the year after the pandemic, I was kind of like, there's like I felt like the traffic could kind of gotten a little bit lower and a little bit different, because I feel like there's just a lot more people posting, a lot more options out there, and a lot of other great new content creators,
and that's part of it, right? Like, you and I, we're competing against everybody who's coming in now, and they're competing against us. And it is hard. And you know, when we were starting out and we were really starting to grow, you know, I sort of had this philosophy of like, there doesn't need to be any of this like inter-channel like nonsense of like competition and stuff. This isn't broadcast television. Like broadcast television, for those that are old enough to remember, it's like you could only watch one thing at a time. Like Thursday at 8 o'clock, you could only put one channel on. I mean, if you had two TVs, I guess you could put on two different things, run back and forth, you know, from room to room, watch two different shows, or you could record it or whatever. But the point is, like YouTube, like there's no reason you can't sub to Shartimus Prime and me and Pixel Dan and Robo and whoever else, Toy Bro, Toy Shiz. Just subscribe to them all. You could watch them all. There's no need to be like, oh, you can only watch this, you can only watch that. And that was sort of our philosophy, you know, going along. It was like, why, you know, we would see some of these little interchannel things crop up, and it's like, why? You can watch everybody. It doesn't matter. There's no time limit on this stuff.
Yeah, there's a point where I felt like there was a moment where I didn't really believe that, but I think from my own experience of watching multiple content creators, especially newer ones, and finding myself watching the older ones still while just watching newer ones on top of it, is what really hit me. Where like, well, I'm not watching anybody else less because I'm watching somebody else here. Like it's just the different point of view that I want to see from these different content creators. So
and anybody starting out, you know, there's plenty you can still learn from you. There's plenty you can still learn from somebody who just started their channel and has their own new voice that's different from, you know, what all these old people have been doing for the last 10 years.
Right. I have a good question right here for you. Are you, I know I'm not going to Legion's Con, but I wish I could, but are you, because are you in Maine or?
I'm in New Hampshire. So New Hampshire. I'm about 4 hours north of New Jersey, and I will be in attendance at Legion's Con. I'm not gonna have a booth or anything, but I will be there.
Oh, sweet. Nice. Just think 10 years from now, Secret Galaxy might be doing the true toy tuber story of street humans. How meta would that be?
Yeah.
You just use this footage right here for that video.
That's right.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some anime. I dream of really fleshing out the story of the street humans, because I think there's a lot of depth there. And, I really would love to kind of have that chance to get like a very reflective, deep story with these characters, because it's supposed to help us look at ourselves. And I always find that very interesting when there's any kind of alien movie or anything like that, when they have sentient creatures where they're like, what? This is how you guys do it? This is how we do it. Like, like their perspective, that for instance, my explanation for them morphing into because you see a Lago, he sees a couple walking down. There's a female and a male side by side. And his instincts tell him to morph into the male. From his point of view, obviously the female is the more dominant gender, with the metal garments for protection and the sharp talons for tearing into flesh.
Yeah.
When he could be more inconspicuous, he wanted to look like the male,
Gotcha.
Be a little bit more in disguise right there. But that's just from his point, that's just from what they see. And their planet is incredibly turbulent. It's 8 times the size of Earth, rotates 20 times faster than Earth, and has an alternating axis. So when they come over here, it's like paradise. Like they're like, oh my God, this is this planet is so beautiful and calm, compared to what they're used to experiencing. And, Eon wants to take over the Earth, not just to repopulate it, because he loves the planet, and he wants to help heal the planet. But if anybody gets in his way, he's going to kill, and he doesn't mind doing that. And Eon, and Ilago may stop Eon, or he may not, depending on how.
Don't spoil the ending.
yeah, don't spoil the ending. So, so it's going to be something that I think would be a really fun story to tell, and flesh out the characters. And Ilago has his,
I think you've also given people the ability to create their own stories with with the characters as well. And I think that's part of the design of the line right out of the gate.
That's true. Like, I really would like to see people be able to incorporate these into like a Star Wars display. You could like make up characters with the alien. I know I had a Han Solo just around here somewhere, and it looked actually pretty cool on this Han Solo figure. And um, I remember one time I was trying to do a stream showing it on a stormtrooper body, but like I kept on grabbing like everything but the Black Series stormtrooper. I had grabbed like a Bandai model kit, and then I grabbed a Mafex one, and like I was like, okay, then this is a Luke Skywalker one with the helmet on. I kept on missing just your regular stormtrooper, but damn it, yeah, I thought I had that close by, but you could do something like with the tracksuit mafia guy and pop it on there. And they fit pretty well with these figures, so I've showed this off before. Yeah, are there any particular head swaps that you've wanted to see with the Street Humans at all? Anything like that made you think like, oh, you know what, I'd really like to see this? Or is there anything that has stood out to you that like, hey, you know what, once I get a Street Human in hand, like this is what I'm gonna do with it, or anything like that?
Not specifically. I mean, I think you've shown off just about everything that I would be able to think of as far as like compatibility and scale comparisons and that sort of thing.
Nice.
It's for me, I like back in the independents, like I like everybody here. We all have our complaints about Hasbro and Playmates and Mattel, and I wish they would do this, I wish they would do that. And like they're the almost these monopolistic kind of organizations who own everything. Like we make our joke all the time, Hasbro till all are one, like they just own everything. And so I do want to see this. I do want to see the offerings, the amount of diversity in terms of the action figures that are available. I want to see it grow and thrive, and I want to see people to be able to put new ideas out there into the public sphere. So I do try to back as many independent Kickstarters as my budget will allow. When too many of them stack up at one time, it's like, uh-oh, this is getting dangerous.
Oh yeah.
There was a few years ago, maybe actually it's probably like 5 years ago now, where there were like 5 Kickstarters that were all in October, and it was just ridiculous. Wow. Yeah. And then even like last year there was like 3 HasLabs and the Robo Skull, or that was 3 years ago.
Yeah. That one was
just too much stuff stacking up. So
this year was kind of, I mean, the same thing was happening during this one too. It's like, that's another reason I'm grateful for every single one of you backing Street Humans, because this has been a tough hill to climb to just get to the 514 backers that we have right now. We're at 45,000, getting close to around 38%, and we have 5 days to go. So the only thing that's going to really make this, now we still don't have our numbers in from Big Bad Toy Store, and we have some of the numbers from Hella Dope Toys, and I don't think we have the numbers from Nerdzoic yet. So Big Bad Toy Store and Nerdzoic, we have numbers and some from Hella Dope Toys too that haven't been included in there yet. And I'm a drummer, right? I'm sorry to get distracted, but I went and did the thing that I knew I bought a little mini drum kit for my kids. So someone's drumming right over there.
Not doing a very good job keeping time. You gotta go teach them a lesson. Hey, it's 1, 2.
Hey,
1, what are you doing?
2. Yeah, they're actually pretty good though. That's
good.
Yeah. There was I'm sorry. It was like just one of the cutest things, because it's like my 4-year-old is so tiny. Like for a 4-year-old, she's tiny. She takes after my wife. My wife is 5 foot, so like she has like the Latin genes. Like she's just very, very tiny, and it's a drum kit made for a 5-year-old. So it's still a small kit. But I had her playing a 2-beat, which means 1 hand and then 2 hands, and you alternate back and forth.
Okay, yeah.
It's used in like every genre. It's called a 2-beat. You go 1, 2, 1, 2. This kid's going 1, 2, 1, 2, and just nailing it like super steady. And I can't even see her eyes because her little head is just popping over the toms in her hand, but you can see her hand like hitting right on time right there.
Is she playing with her face?
I couldn't see her, but yeah, she's moving her head.
You have
playing,
to. Yeah.
And and then my oldest, she wants to be a singer, and she loves singing and all that. So
that's great.
and she loves to. And they both play the drums a little bit, so I give them little lessons here and there.
Awesome.
Jamie Lynn Parks, how you doing? He has a question for you. Dan, do you plan to intermingle Street Humans with an existing display or keep them as their own collection? Very good question.
Good question. So if I put a video up last on our second channel, now called Dan Larson. It used to be called Toy Galaxy 2. Now it's called Dan Larson. There's a video on that channel of my current display. I put up some new shelves. I'm gesturing. You can't see them. They're over here. And they're like DVD shelves. So they're not very deep, right? And that was the point for me. I don't like having them stacked deep on risers and stuff. I wanted just one single row. I wanted adjustable shelves because I got 4-inch figures, I got 6-inch figures, I got 12-inch figures. And I do tend to keep them together in their own collections. So, you know, I've got Mythic Legions are together, NECA are together, Marvel Legends are together, Spiro, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom are together, you know, Classified is together, Origins are together. So yeah, anything that would ship from Street Humans, that would all go on its own shelf. Although if it's just, you know, one figure, two figures, it's probably going to share a shelf with something else that only has one figure, two figures at the time. And then as it grows, like G.I. Joe Classified, it's going to take up half my damn wall.
Oh, I know. I just picked up I can't stop. I can't stop. They're so good. They're just killing it. I was just at Ross and I picked up the freaking, what was it, the Tiger Strike or the Tiger Force?
Tiger Force.
Duke with the motorcycle.
Okay. Yep.
Got that for $9.99. Now I was like, oh man,
you gotta do a toy hunt series. Russ at Ross.
Yeah, Russ at Ross. Yeah, that's funny. I gotta use that. I like that. But you know, I mean, $10, man. A motorcycle.
It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to say no to that kind of stuff.
Say no? I couldn't say no to it. I never really wanted that figure in the first place.
Well, so one of my new toy collecting rules that I had to put in place was price doesn't matter, even if it's $0 if I don't actually want the figure. And if I had wanted that figure, I would have bought it when it was full price. So it's like if I see it for $1, I still shouldn't buy it because I didn't actually want it. Now, that said, you know, I just bought this the Null and Venom 2-pack because I wanted the movie body with the comic, and I wanted to be able to put the movie head on it because that's my ideal Venom. You know, so he's got the holes on his back for the wings, but that doesn't bother me. I'm never going to be looking at his back. But that's my perfect Venom. So now I can get rid of like 2 or 3 other Venoms. But I was waiting to see that. I was hoping that was going to go on clearance so I could grab it because I didn't want to pay the full price just for that body.
Did that go on clearance at Amazon? Is that where?
I don't know if you'd call it clearance, but it was $40 with free shipping at Amazon.
Oh, okay.
So that's a great deal for those 2 figures.
I have 2 of those already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, I have 2. Yeah, I have a customized one too. Frecky did a really cool custom job on the Null, and I have the bat wings attached to Null, and I have an extra set of wings, so I could use it for a Black Knight or something.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed the wings weren't a little more posable.
Yeah, well, they should have gone on Null though. That's the thing that like really tripped me out is that I mean, it's kind of nerdy specific about it, but like for real,
this is the right environment.
I mean, I just don't know what they were thinking because the wings that they designed were specifically the same wings that Null has, and the wings that Venom has are a totally different design. I mean, they're similar color scheme, I believe, but like they didn't have that same pattern, like with the bone, with the structure inside the wing. Like it was just totally different. It was like not like any kind of human looking or mammal looking wing. Like
they're more alien.
Yeah, definitely more alien. A lot more ridges in the inside of the wing, and just more alien. And it's like, well, how could you make these wings and put them on the wrong figure completely, or just design the wrong wings completely? And
I thought for sure. And I very rarely watch reviews and stuff prior to buying things because, you know, I want to form my own opinions of things. I'll go back and watch other people's reviews after I get it, but not usually before. And so I was surprised. Like I didn't know. I was surprised that both figures didn't have the holes for the wings.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they at least didn't. That Null is a brand new sculpt too. So, I don't know why they didn't do that. But anyway, there's a whoopah punching. I just want to do a flying Alago. Do you have any other Street Humans questions by any chance, though? Is there anything? anything else that you wanted to ask regarding
Any questions I would ask would probably just be about the creative process
Sure.
and sort of how things came about. You have covered some of that already,
Right.
and then I would be curious about the production side of things. And I know that you obviously have Vonner as a consultant. I would be curious to know if he's acting in a consulting capacity as far as the production is concerned, or is he just sort of design?
Well, he's helped with a lot, like a little bit in every kind of aspect of this thing. He helped a bit with the alien head designs, but and he's got me squared away with my project manager. So the factory side of it's kind of like there now. Like he
Okay.
hooked me up with the project manager, and then it's just kind of like me and the project manager having to work closely, who really knows his stuff. And
Good.
I'd rather not share his name,
No,
but
of course not. Yeah.
he's worked on he's worked for a lot of big companies, very familiar big companies, and some smaller ones too. So he
Yeah.
has a lot of experience in the industry, and it's like me and him, like we've had these meetings where we're talking about figures, and I don't have to explain. Like there's so much that can be said when you just reference a figure. Like I want, for instance, I want the parts to be removable like Build-A-Figure pieces. That like me just saying that over the phone and him getting it, like, gotcha. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know what force
Yeah.
is required to remove a Build-A-Figure piece, because you can take them apart. Now, they still hold up when you're posing them, so they don't fall apart while you're posing them, but
Right.
you can take them apart. And that's what I wanted for these. Like, I've never had this come apart on me, like while trying, at the waist while trying to pose it. There's other pieces that have come off. This is an early prototype, but that force right there, you can see from me
Solid.
putting
Yeah.
it on. It's solid and it's playable, so that part of it has been pretty amazing.
That's good. And that's always my concern with new lines that are starting out going through Kickstarter, is when I don't see any names involved that have actually done it before, then it's like, you're about to see someone try to reinvent the process. And it's like, it's already hard enough to navigate for Hasbro. Hasbro has issues with factories. Mattel has issues with factories. Like, it's just the nature of the business. And so if you have people on your team that can already consult and say, look out for this, look out for that, don't use this guy, stay away from that factory, like that's key to actually, people having, faith that you're actually going to deliver your line.
Right. No, it feels like, Vonner's kind of like giving me like that VIP pass to the dopest people in the industry, where I can really connect with very talented people. And I guess that's that's kind of a tricky selling point, because I've never made figures before, but I'm working with people that have made a lot of figures before. So
and I think it's important to make sure that people know that.
Yes. Yeah. So you guys, that are wary about, my experience on the manufacturing side, know that we have other people that are very trustworthy, that if you don't trust me, trust them. But you should trust me, because I'm very picky about this stuff. And we got a new backer. So we got another trusting person right there, because there is trust required for this. All right. There we go.
And that's, the other, just the real philosophy behind Kickstarter is I think too many people think of it as a pre-order, right? Like, oh, I'm just placing my pre-order with Big Bad. I'm placing my pre-order with Hasbro Pulse. I'm just placing my pre-order with Kickstarter. It's like, that's not what it is. Like, I know that that's how it gets used, but that's not what it is. It's, you're investing in a company, and it's on you. It's on you, the investor, to make sure you vet the people that are working on this project, to say, okay, they've got a good team in place, and I feel confident that this is a good investment of my money into this product. You've seen some of the Kickstarters that never delivered. I revisit the comments on them every once in a while just to see who's commenting on them still.
Oh, really? Like some of the projects that, like, I know there's
funded and never delivered.
Jesus. Yeah, see, that's scary to me. And another thing that I've always really wanted to make very clear is that, see, from my point of view, if if I fail on that end of it, like the risk involved for that is very, very heavy, because I still have my YouTube channel. I have to keep this YouTube channel rolling. If I do so, if I get involved in some kind of nefarious scheme, I can't keep doing a YouTube channel. I'm not
Right.
going to be able to go to any toy shows,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
How are
No,
you
you
going to
are.
look at me in the face if I rip
It's
off
a
a whole bunch of people? You know what I mean? Like, you're
it's a
trusting me.
it's a blessing
Everybody
and a
who's
curse. Yep.
Yeah, like everybody that's had me on their streams, like if I do anything nefarious, like I will be accountable for it. I will either be banned from all the toy shows, Dan Larson's going to kick my ass, and and there's like no way for me to weasel out of the situation. I have to face it. And I have been extremely, and the other side to it is I have a family. I have my wife and my kids. I am not going to take any money out of my kids' college fund or their future or any of that
It's
for
scary,
this
man.
thing. Like, I'm not going to do that. I've taken money. I've had to take some funds out of my retirement and, move some, because it's like big money. You're talking big money
Of
with
course.
this, even before the Kickstarter
Yeah,
launch. Like, this
yeah.
is way, like, just on my end, that's not included into the Kickstarter. Like, I've had to invest a lot, not even just my time, but just like
Mhm.
funds, just getting this going. It takes a lot of money to get this to this point, and I don't, and I've been, and I'm not going to create a hole for my future where I'm not going to be able to dig myself out of it. So the stretch goals and all the tiers are mapped out diligently and precisely to
Conservatively,
what
yeah.
the factory is able to make with that money. So it's staggered in that way so that we could actually get things made and there's no goofing around. And I've been complimented by my project manager on this, because he's like, a lot of people will, they'll get really adventurous or they'll roll the dice this way or that way. But he's like, I have to commend you. Like, you're really, you're doing the wise thing with the choices that you're making with this project.
And I would commend you on that as someone who has participated in a lot of Kickstarters, as a backer. I would commend you on your restraint to try to keep throwing stuff out there, more stuff, change this, do this, without actually having a plan to fulfill it. Because I've seen Kickstarters chase that, and then they get into this situation where they've got all this product that they have to deliver, and there's no realistic timeline to deliver it. So they've got all this money, and then it's going to be years before they can actually get this product out. And I know the allure of that. I know that that you see those backers coming in, you're like, I throw one more little thing out here, maybe that'll bring in another couple $1,000, but
Right.
it's going to screw you on the back end.
Yes. Yeah. So I've been very careful with, moving forward, and I don't want to overpromise or anything like that. But I wish, I wish I was able to offer all four
Of
characters
course. Yeah.
right from
Yeah.
the very beginning. And that's one thing that a lot of people have asked for. And it's like, but I've been able to make changes and, include things, I've been able to bend a little bit here and there and, get things
Respond to
worked out.
feedback, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so at first we didn't have the alien heads, so now we do have the alien heads right there. And then, Bobby Valla threw out this recommendation of making sure that the pants would be available in the other colors that, people would want to see: black pants and denim. And I did a video I did a poll asking people what they want to see, and people overwhelmingly, voted for the black pants more than anything else. So I was able to work that with the factory. And yeah, man, I gotta say, it's like this process, I've had a very open mind to suggestions, and I am not like one to take any of them lightly. Like, I take everything seriously. This is new for me, so it's like, why would I think I know best if this is the very first time I'm going in on it,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm taking in the ideas, I'm taking in the constructive criticism, and to be honest with you, I love it, because when people give you constructive criticism, all it does is that it makes you reimagine things for the better. you know, and sometimes they can be done, sometimes they can't. But I'm doing everything I can to make it as dope as possible. And I don't know, do you have any constructive criticism before we close out of here? I know you have to leave, you got to run. I have some stuff I have to get to. I have jazz band tonight too. But the Kickstarter, just to remind you guys, November 4th is the last day to back this campaign. We're still at 5:15, and yeah, so Saturday, November 4th is the last day to back the Kickstarter. It actually closes at 1 a.m. that night. So it'll technically say November 5th, but it's actually, Saturday night the 4th. Saturday night, November 4th. That's the day to mark. Helmet, specifically motorcycle. Yes, that is one of the heads that I want to do. Motorcycle helmet heads, ski mask heads, nylon mask heads. There's a whole bunch of other ideas. But yeah, is there anything that you would oh yeah, jazz band practice. Thanks for reminding me. I'll bring my flute. Laser Pants, the flute player. Is there any recommendation that you would throw towards?
You know what? I don't think I'm really in the position to advise, having not been on that side of it.
Well, no, but as a fan, as a collector, but if not, I mean, that's cool too, because that means that you just dig.
Hey, yeah, I'm there as, support to say, follow your dream. What can I do to help you get there? Here's my contribution. Let me help promote it. That's really all I'm there for. It's guys like Vonner and your project manager and all those other people. Those are people who have the actual knowledge who are going to be able to say, you can't fit any more accessories on this, steel slab. So, it's not going to work. You can only fit so many pieces. It's other people that can tell you, you've got too many paint apps on these pants. If you just make them black, that's one paint app. If you can save a couple of bucks, bring the price down. I'm just curious I'm interested to see where you're going, and I hope you can. I hope you and the community can help pull this off, make it happen.
Awesome, man! Thank you so much. The support really means a lot. Thank you so much for doing this, Dan, and thank you for being a strong supporter of the project from the very beginning. I see it with you and a few others, but it's not a ton, where people have kind of like maintained like a very strong, consistent enthusiasm for the line, even between both Kickstarters. And you've always been there, man. So I'll remember it forever. Thank you so much. It really means a lot.
Very much, of course. Absolutely.
Thank you. And Joseph Mendez gets paid Friday, so he'll back it and pre-order it on BBTS too. Hey, thank you, Joseph. And before we roll out, let's see if we have any other backers. No more Infinity Gauntlets.
They're coming. Payday's Friday.
It is, Friday. So that'll work out. So I think that's also a cool thing. Getting the 7-day extension, I think, was a smart move. Thank you, Charlita1. She was the one who pushed me to get that extension, because there's a bunch of pre-orders this last weekend. Also, that didn't help the new figures that we talked about a little bit yesterday on Jay's show, and I think I'm gonna have a fairly clear window this weekend. I don't think there's any HasLabs or major Hasbro stuff or major NECA toys announcements.
You can't. There's always going to be something. You can't worry about that. Just do your thing.
But I have a feeling this weekend, post Halloween, we'll be able to just focus on Street Humans. And thank you so much for being really supportive and hanging out. And it was a pleasure talking to you as always, Dan.
Thank you to chat for hanging out. Absolutely. Thank you to everybody who backed it during the show and who's already backed it.
Thank you. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for watching, hanging out, back in the project, and we got more live streams coming this week. All right. Catch you guys later. Peace.